I'm really excited today to release our version 3 multi-mapping for our 300 series. There's a lot to explain in version 3. I want to give you a good understanding of what to expect in version 3. Version 3 has still the same switching, but just with a whole lot of added function and protection into these ECUs. So we're going to jump into that right now. So jump in the car with us and we'll go through it. All right, so we're sitting in the 300 series. We've got the car running. I'm going to run through the multi-mapping functions, which is, I guess, the fun part of it. You know, we're switching tables from our immobilizer, idle up, and then we've got 2 tow maps and 2 power maps. Now, they all have their different functions, which we go on about a fair bit. What people don't realize is all the things that we do in the background. So I'm just going to do a quick summary over some of these other functions that we have in here. One of the things that's really important that I notice with these cars, when you're driving the car, especially driving the car from a set of lights, if the car's sitting there idling and you go to take off, you get a bit of a rattle, but they're just a slightly dead off the throttle to get going. The diesel rattle, it's there in the stock standard car, but it's something that really bothered me. So we changed around with the timing in that area as well as the fueling, and we bumped the idle slightly, and that helped massively with just taking off. So straight away, the car's a hell of a lot smoother in that area just to transition to get into your power phase and start to drive the car. So there's these little things that we do that add drivability and also comfort to your car. In this particular model, you can't use cruise control in manual mode. Now, for most people, that's probably not a huge problem, but if you're like me, my foot gets sore after a few hours of driving, holding there. So the cruise control is really good to have switched on in manual mode. And the added feature we've added in there is that we have the converter locking in from second gear onwards. So now the converter stays locked in while you're in that mode. It engages and disengages on gear change. So it follows this factory strategy while doing that, but we're maintaining the car. So it's built now around, hey, while we're towing, converter locked in, so it means your trans temps are a lot lower, and everything works a lot better for that. Temperatures. This is one of the reasons why we fit a heat exchanger, and it's, you know, one of the reasons why we recommend like a 530 or a 540 oil in these cars. And it was something that we're like, hey, we need to build more protection around this. So we built in a full closed loop EGT protection system. So now we're using the factory EGT sensors to monitor the temperatures in the engine, and if they exceed too high, we start to pull fueling away. That's not something you'll see happening. That is just something that's happening in the background that protects you guys. The only visual things that you guys see is that we've put in on this model of car. We have it so if we're driving down the road and the engine temperature, because it's a gauge, you don't really know what temperature you're running at, but if you're exceeding say 108 degrees and it's starting to get quite hot, you won't know that the engine's been overheating for the last 2 kilometers, because I know when I drive, I'm not staring at the temperature gauge the whole time, but when something comes up on the dash and starts flashing at you, it grabs your attention straight away and you know there's something going on. You'll have an audible sound and the engine light will come up and it'll start flashing at you, and then you know that you've got a problem there. And now this is set up on a few different things for things like overboost and things like coolant temp, EGTs. We have a whole lot of range of things where if the engine light's flashing, we have it in the back that's been logged that something's not quite right. But we wanted to give you like a pre-warning saying, hey, this car's getting hot, back off a little bit. And as soon as you back off, then the next minute you find that the engine light will stop flashing. So those temperatures have now maintained and we're all good to go and there's no problems there. So you don't need to clear it, don't need to read it with scan tool. It's just a physical warning that something's going on. Because the strategy of this car has a sequential turbo, it is quite a complex system to be able to control and get good control over that. We found the factory system was limited in a lot of areas, so we've inputted our own PID control, which is our own control system that controls this. Now we have a smoother transition between the turbos, we have better on-target boost control, and it works seamlessly for what we need it to do. We also added a closed-loop fuel control system, so using the factory wideband sensors to control fuel. This creates a better driving experience where you can drive the car with these things in place that makes the fuel control better, the boost control better, and the car drives better for it. So that's creating drivability. And the next one is pedal translation tables. Pedal translation is set up for a way where you've got 2 full driving modes where, you know, your pedal's a little bit lazier, so therefore if you're in low range it's not as sensitive. You've got a standard setting, and then you've got 2 powerful modes on top of that. All of them can be programmed while you're driving on the road. We can program the car through OBD now. which means that the diagnostic port on your car at the front, the ECUs had to be programmed through the ECU itself, what we call service mode. Now we can go literally through the OBD plug and program the vehicle, which means if you have any concerns or problems, we can always send you out hardware. If you have access to a laptop, you can literally load in the factory files into your car and away you go. So you have that accessibility now. And we're the only ones in the world that can provide that service and that accessibility to these cars at this present time. So the final thing is our data storage, which means that using our EasyTune platform that we use currently here, your car is registered on that platform. It has the data logs that we've done for the dyno tuning on that. It also has all the information about the car. So it allows you to load the factory files, but this also stops Toyota from doing an update. So if you were to do an update and they wipe the file, it stops them from doing that as well. All right, that was version 3 multi-mapping for our 300 series. If you have any questions or queries, please get in contact with our sales guys. That's what they're there for. They're more than happy to answer any of your questions. And please also keep coming with your comments, because the information you guys give us allow us to be better and strive to get better and better every day. If it wasn't for you guys giving us information back, it makes it very hard to, build these things for you guys. So, please, we're all open ears for that. Anyway, thanks for watching the video, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.